Guys, we want you to join over 500,000 couples, including Blaze and me and Linda and Tom, who've used Zola for their wedding needs.
Zola takes the stress out of wedding planning with free wedding websites, the easiest wedding registry, affordable invite suites, and more.
Basically what you do is you start with a free wedding website, which is so easy and takes just minutes to set up and customize. They have hundreds of beautiful designs to choose from, and you can basically tell everyone how you met, talk about details of your wedding, like
get as mushy-gushy as you want.
Yeah, or as like goofy
or as non-mushy-gushy as you want.
Exactly. And they
it's
even
up to you.
have like templates and stuff depending on your mood or your theme or, however you and your partner want to display yourselves.
Zola is the most helpful wedding registry ever, and they'll make the process fun and easy. They're the only place where you can register for honeymoon funds and gift cards along with physical gifts.
We did that. The honeymoon fund is so nice, and like it feels really good to contribute that when someone else is getting married, because it's like, oh, we're helping you have an awesome trip to New Zealand or whatever. Yeah. It's just a really cool idea. They also carry all your favorite brands from OXO and Cuisinart to Brooklinen and even Airbnb.
Oh my.
And the best part that I loved about Zola is that after the wedding, you get those wedding blues. But Zola offers you 20% off for 6 months after your wedding day, and you can use it for anything you want on the site.
Build your free wedding website on Zola and get $50 towards your registry. Go to zola.com/drink and get started today.
Again, build your free wedding website on Zola, Zola, and get $50 toward your registry. Just go to zola.com/drink and get started today. Buckets.
Buckets.
We have a new game, guys.
Yes. Do you want to explain it?
Sure. Every time we finish an ad, we like recording an ad, we crumple up the paper. Em invented it, and we throw it into
a trash can,
a receptacle. It's currently not a trash can; it's a file folder and an empty box. But
at the end of it's a reward after every ad. We go buckets,
and then I yell Space Jam, and Em goes Kobe, and that's the extent of our basketball knowledge. But when I say, I want to explain. Give a little caveat that when I say we throw it into the receptacle,
we throw around it.
We throw around it. We throw toward it generally.
Well, last time Christine was pretty much nailing it. I thought her beer pong skills came back for a second.
I think it's the new. We need to like really set up the proper.
I'm telling you, this time around, you disappointed me. You got 0 for 5.
Suddenly, I'm just feeling really small.
I mean, never mind. You did amazing. The goal was to not do anything right. I don't know what's happening.
Em just gave me a weird half wink.
I was like, you get it. You get it.
Buckets.
Buckets. I think for Christmas, I'm going to buy you a bucket.
Just a plain bucket?
Yeah, who knows what's going to be in it?
Just a dirty, dirty bucket.
I'll put baby Gio in a bucket.
Oh, I would like that.
Oh, so sweet.
Here's the thing. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about this. It's your decision, but we'll delete it otherwise. But guess where we are the day this comes out?
Nashville.
No.
Nope. Vegas.
Guess where specifically. Tell them where specifically. Or are we going to say it afterward?
What time is it?
Well, just on Sunday.
Yeah, we're going to be in Vegas.
Yeah, but where?
Las Vegas. The Venetian.
You planned this. There's a special thing we're doing on Sunday.
Oh, I don't know which part you're excited about. I guess the German place.
No, on Sunday.
On Sunday.
I'm going to kick you.
On Sunday. Oh.
I felt like we're all having a stroke all at once.
I think so. We're at the Zach
Baggins.
We're at the Zach Baggins Haunted Museum.
Yes! You guys, Em is like fucking scheduled us all, booked a tour at the Zach Baggins Haunted Museum, and I'm just dying inside.
And I don't remember who, but someone in our Facebook group actually posted the link of the Zach Baggins house after I'd already bought
literally
tickets.
The day later, I think, and I ignored it because you told me to.
And so in the comments I wrote, Christine, don't look at this, and I'm sorry if that came off really like dickish.
Don't.
I was like, Christine, don't look, because I didn't want her to. You still have not seen anything, correct? I don't want you to.
I know literally 0.
Okay, I want you to have a full experience when you're there.
I just imagine that it's like Zach Baggins' house, but I know it's not.
Also, while we're here, I will tell you the 2 places that were supposed to be on the itinerary.
Okay.
But ended up having to get scrapped.
Oh, y'all, this is my bachelorette party weekend, by the way. Just so you know what's going on.
And I did the whole itinerary.
Em literally created the entire weekend for me.
And I picked all the places. I had to dwindle it down. By the way, here's the thing. I was so invested in this. I started with 34 different places.
For God's sake.
And I needed to dwindle it down to like 6.
Just FYI, we get there Friday afternoon and leave Sunday. Just for everyone's clarification.
This weekend is not long enough at all. So some of the things that had to get taken off. So I created this entire itinerary, and the two that I really tried to squeeze in there but couldn't. Right. I want you to Google while you're here.
Got it.
So one of them is called Beauty Bar, and just type in Beauty Bar Vegas and then Google image.
Okay.
So it looks like a beauty salon.
Whoa. Whoa.
I thought it looked really cool.
Whoa.
And it's also a music venue, so like you can sit under like old retro 50s hair dryers and shit.
Oh shit. And like listen to indie bands or something.
And
That's
then
pretty dope.
the bar looks like a salon with like, it looks like a bunch of cosmetic stuff, but it's
dope.
alcohol. And then the other place,
oh, that's so cool.
I know you're kind of going to be mad that we're not going.
Oh no.
It is a speakeasy under the National Mob Museum. I wanted us to go so bad. I wanted us to go so bad.
You already have but so many good things on the itinerary.
The way you have to get in is through the museum, and you have to go through a portrait on the wall.
Shut the hell up. Wait, so, oh my God, wow. Wow,
so those were the two that didn't make the cut.
Okay, but everything else on the cut is still really amazing.
Yes, that's true.
Because Em posted the itinerary. Of course, they made like just the most professionally made itinerary.
I do everything on Microsoft Word.
And posted it on in the like Facebook group, and everyone's texting me like, "Wow, Em did a lot of work." I was like, "Yeah, I know that. That's the point." So, at this point next week, I'm really hungover, but just screaming about Zach Baggins, and life is so good right now. And I want to thank Em for putting this all together. And Eva's going to be there too, which is amazing.
Yes,
we're gonna have so much fun. Alexander's going to be there. Allison's going to be there.
Yep. And there's very few things I have left I need to do.
Oh my God, amazing. Okay, here's the thing. Okay. When Em sent me that, I got like really teary-eyed, the like itinerary, because I was like, I feel like no one's ever done anything this like kind and nice and thoughtful for me. So I just want to say thank you.
Are you about to cry?
No,
You got all shaky.
I'm really shaky and sweaty.
Oh, that's the heat, not me.
Heat stroke,
right,
but also you. So thank you.
No, I put a lot of thought into it. I was like, where are all the places Christine would want to go?
It's just amazing. And
the first place is a giant ass German beer hall.
I literally, I read 2 lines down. It said Hofbräuhaus, and I was like, Mom!
You're like, okay, this place is going to be fine.
Oh my God.
Have you seen the place I know you're going to love? It's called Golden Spike.
Oh, that's the one I haven't Googled yet. No.
You're going to never want to go anywhere else.
Oh, great.
And type in playground, Golden Spike Playground.
Oh, Gold Spike?
So that's like, the whole place apparently is named after different parts of a house. And there's like playground and backyard and all this stuff.
Oh, shit. We're going to have a good time. Oh,
they have every type of, they have like giant Yahtzee, giant Jenga. They have swings you can get drunk on. They have, and all of their menu is like things that a kid would want to eat, but it's alcoholics. Like they have these giant, massive milkshakes.
We are going to have so much fun. I could scream. Oh, too late. We're going to have so much fun. Thank you for planning all. I just can't. You guys, our Instagram is going to be kind of bananas, I have a feeling. So just get ready for that. So I just want to thank you.
I will say the other thing that was supposed to happen is I tried to make a Snapchat filter because I
looked into that too.
I went bananas extra on this trip, and I was like, obviously she's going to have a Snapchat filter wherever we go, and it's going to say her name, and everyone's going to know, and her hashtag, and it's going to be great. And I found out that it was going to be $374. Yeah,
I looked into it too.
You're so fucking basic, but also I'm the exact same.
Hey, we both did it.
But no,
I was like, I guarantee Em's also looking into this, and then I was like, I hope they don't actually do it because it's fucking expensive.
It's
in
like
Vegas.
apparently because originally it said $60, and I was like, dunzo, and apparently it's $60 per square foot.
And
I was like,
like if we literally keep it inside the Venetian, it's still like
$200. Yeah, the smallest it would let me go is $200.
The good thing is the one in Ohio that I'll be using is much less because it's contained in the venue. But yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so you get it.
We'll come up with a hashtag instead.
So it should have happened. It was going to happen. Just know I thought it.
Christine Gets Blazed in Vegas. That's the hashtag. Okay, good. We're good.
I just had to shorten it on some things for Christine Gets Blazed. Just on principle. Just so you know.
Oh my God, you used the hashtag? Okay, stop. I'm like I can't. You guys have all seen this on social media by now, but right now I'm in this like pre-excitement, like freaking out anxiety phase. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Em, for everything. Also, one last thing before we get into the real deal. I want you guys to remind you guys that we have 1 week left until we're in Nashville, which is going to be a party in and of itself.
Yes.
Eva's going to be there too. We're going to be there for 2 nights. Our booking agent, Andrew, lovely Andrew, just emailed us and said we're almost out of tickets. So get on it, people.
Yeah, we've only got, I think, not too many left at all.
Yeah, so jump on it.
Okay.
Go to andthat'swhatwedrink.com and click tour, and you'll be able to find tickets there. And I also want to add real quick that we're adding a bunch of new cities lined up for November, December, January that we're going to be announcing relatively soon. So stay tuned.
Yes.
And those will probably sell out because some of them are smaller venues. So keep an eye peeled.
Just one.
Only one, though.
Yes.
Keep the other
unpeeled
and closed.
Yeah.
And waiting.
It's like you're winking with one peeled eye.
Waiting for it to ripen.
There it is.
Don't peel the banana yet. I don't know. Okay.
This is going to be a weird ride today.
I have a feeling. I got a feeling. Ooh. Ooh.
That's one of my mom's favorite songs.
Oh.
By the way.
That was for Linda.
Oh, good.
Your turn.
RXBAR is a whole food protein bar.
But Em, what does that mean?
They're bars that are made with real whole ingredients.
So RXBAR wants to build things the right way. They believe in the power of transparency and let the core ingredients do all the talking, with all of them listed on the front of the packaging. You'd probably recognize them at the shelf. They're the ones who have egg whites for protein, dates to bind, nuts for texture, and other delicious ingredients like unsweetened chocolate, real fruit, and spices like sea salt or cinnamon.
And turns out real food ingredients actually taste really good. Whether you like sweet or savory, chocolate or fruit flavors.
Chocolate!
Definitely an RXBAR for you.
They actually come in 14 delicious flavor varieties.
I like the apple cinnamon.
I haven't tried that one, actually.
That one's very good.
I love peanut butter chocolate. I want to try coffee chocolate.
Peanut butter and berries is real good. That's just like a PB&J.
Oh, yeah, that one's good. Oh, my favorite, I know, chocolate sea salt. That's my favorite.
So RX bars are gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free with no artificial colors, artificial flavors, preservatives, or fillers.
They're great for a number of occasions. So whether you need breakfast on the go, snack at the office to push you through your 3 p.m. slump, been there, to throw in your bag on the plane, toss in your backpack for a hike or bike ride, or as a pre or post-workout snack.
And the egg white protein stands out as a source of protein that is easy for your body to absorb.
For 25% off your first order, visit rxbar.com/drink and enter promo code DRINK at checkout.
That's 25% off your first order and go to rxbar.com/drink and enter promo code DRINK at checkout.
I have important news.
All right, tell me them.
A brand new season of the critically acclaimed animated series The Venture Brothers is almost here. As in Adult Swim's The Venture Brothers.
I love The Venture Brothers. It features Hank, Dean, Rusty, Brock, the Monarch, Dr. Mrs. the Monarch, 21, OSI, the Guild of Calamitous Intent, Billy Quizboy, Pete White, and several other characters you made your own costumes for.
Watch Team Venture attempt to save their frozen butts from the icy chill of organized villainy and laugh along as America's favorite family of super scientists collides with the inescapable agents of their downfall.
Learn along with the boys on brand new adventures like college jobs, dating, and other skills you can't learn in your sleep.
Created and directed by Jackson Public, written and executive produced by Public and Doc Hammer.
And it premieres Sunday, August 5th at midnight, which is exactly where I'll be, Adult Swim, so go Team Venture.
That's midnight Eastern Time / Pacific Time on Adult Swim. Go Team Venture.
Okay, Christine.
M.
I'm so ready for this.
What?
And I have to apologize that it's long. Because it's usually I try to keep my notes like a page and a half, and this was exceeding 2 pages, and I couldn't break it down.
I don't want you to break down. I want to hear all of it.
Okay, this is like what everyone wants. Not the story itself, but like the little the themes, because it's got paranormal, it's got poltergeists, it's got aliens,
hell yeah.
It's got conspiracy theories. It's a little potluck.
Oh, I'm so ready for it.
Okay,
Bring it on.
Okay. Don't look at the top, because I know you like to do that.
Buckets.
So this is the story of the Skinwalker Ranch.
Yes!
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm so excited!
So, before I get into it, I know you always give stories credit, like where you get your sources from. I got a whole lot from Ghost Diaries.
Ooh. What's that? A website?
It was called the Ghost Diaries Report. And it's by Johnny Mahan.
Okay.
So I'm going to say a whole lot of stuff that was like just clearly from his story.
But is it like
or her story? I don't know who they are.
A blog or like a podcast or like a...
It was in the blur of me copy and pasting all of Google into a Word document.
So it's a website.
It was a website.
Oh.
Yeah, I only found it on a website, but it
okay.
might have been like a transcript from something else.
Got it.
I don't know where it came from.
Got it.
And I don't remember. I just don't know. All I know is that most of it came from Ghost Diaries by Johnny Mayhem. So I want to give them a lot of credit.
Awesome.
Because like so much of my information came from there. Okay. So the Skinwalker Ranch is in northeastern Utah, and it's surrounded on 3 sides by mountains and cliffs. Its name, Skinwalker, it comes from Navajo origin. A skinwalker is in folklore, it's someone who can transform into animals based on their needs. So if they need to fly, a bird; if they need to swim, fish. And in some versions of the story, at the end of their destination, they become a giant wolf.
Oh, like they progress or something?
Like it's like their final form before they go back to being a human. Like during their animal transitions, they always end at a wolf.
Got it.
And they have inhuman bursts of speed, but they're lurkers and stand on lone streets when in their human form.
That's terrifying.
To lure people in, and they can read minds to know what you're scared of so they can control and manipulate you to draw you into them.
Okay, good. Fabulous.
So let's just start there. Does everyone feel freaked out? Because this story gets fucking weird.
I was going to say, this is one of the ones that really gets me. I mean, I heard it in Astonishing Legends, and it was like when I first dipped my toes into anything like eerie, paranormally, like podcast-wise, and this one just, I lived alone.
I wish I listened to Astonishing Legends. I just like, fun fact about me, I don't listen to other paranormal podcasts because I don't want to accidentally like steal any of their story or any of their like lines or anything like that.
Copy and paste Google.
Yeah, so I don't. Well, so I copy and paste Google, but I give Google all the credit. I'll tell you that.
But I will say, like, you are going to cover everything, but I will say I do recommend their podcast episode because it was like way a long time ago.
I always listen after I've reported on it
because it's just like really entertaining on their front too. But
then my big problem is after I've reported on it and then I listen, I'm like, damn, I wish I threw that into the story.
That's why I always listen to it first, and then I'm like, oh,
I'm too paranoid that I'm gonna like get sued or something. Anyway, Ghost Diaries report Johnny Mayhem for the 1,000th time because I don't.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so the Skinwalker Ranch was actually originally called the Sherman Ranch.
Oh my God, for Sherman.
For Sherman.
The First Sherman Ranch.
Oh my God. And it involved, it's been involved in shapeshifting, mutant wolves, interdimensional portals, and poltergeists.
Fabulous.
Oh, and aliens.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you can't forget that.
No.
So, quick background of the town. Quick background. Quick.
Quick.
In the 1800s, Europeans started moving west and pushed out the tribes. And during the Civil War, there's a thought that the land was cursed at that time and that a skinwalker was created in the process of that curse. And the skinwalker has multiplied and they live nearby in the canyons.
Ugh.
And it's an area where now local tribe members avoid at all costs. They do not let any...
Really?
Because they're so convinced. They're like, we will not go near that
When
place.
the locals are like, no.
And when the locals are natives and...
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, no.
They're like, you do you, but like, we won't do it.
It's like, we know better.
Fuck that.
Yeah. So tribes will not go anywhere near that.
That's crazy.
Some of them believe that this place is a portal to, quote, where the past meets the future.
Cute.
And some say that a Bermuda Triangle is somewhere on the property because people just go disappearing or...
Oh my... So
like
they
that.
can have a... I'm probably ignorant, but like Bermuda Triangle can be replicated?
It's like a metaphorical Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, just like the same concept.
Yeah, same concept.
Transported there.
Yeah, not like a clone of the Bermuda.
Well, I didn't know if that was like the actual,
No, I got
like
you.
the term. Okay.
No.
Anyway, got it.
You're good.
I'm
I called someone a
hot.
wonton last week, so we're fine.
It's so funny though. Okay. Sorry. Go on.
All right. In the area, more than half of the population has had UFO experiences.
More than half?
More than half.
Oh my God.
As of 2002. Who knows what's been going on in the last 16 years. And also, weirdly enough, this may or may not have any correlation, but that town also has an increasingly higher rate of stillborn babies.
What?
It's just...
That's fucked up.
Like, not a fun fact.
No, not fun. No.
So, the Skinwalker Ranch is also fun fact. This is a fun fact. Is the most thoroughly researched paranormal hotspot in the world.
Okay.
So now that I've gotten to this story, like, really, do I need to keep going with this podcast?
We're ending it. It's just me now.
I mean, I hit my high now.
What if it was just me talking to myself for the rest of the episodes?
I mean, that could be pretty fun.
There never was an M. Schultz.
Ooh.
They died 40 years ago.
So in just some quick stories, in 1977, just to make things even worse, because cryptids are also involved.
Oh, I fucking love cryptids.
In 1977, a guy named Jay Barker and his friends hiked through the mountains, and when they got to their fishing spot, they looked over a cliff, and saw a black and white body. They thought it was an elk, but it was a bipedal creature. Mm. And its whole body was black with white hair on the back of its neck, and it was swinging its arms, had lots of heavy mass, and they saw it for an entire 3 minutes while it walked and stood by a pond. And they're convinced that it was a Bigfoot. They thought it was an elk, but it was like walking like a human.
But it was just casually walking on 2 feet.
Yes.
Okay.
So also Bigfoot's hanging out there.
God, I need a list of this all in one space, please.
In 1978, this is literally like just where they all just go. Like, this is just like aliens go here, ghosts go here,
it makes
cryptids
sense for like
go
a
here.
portal of, like we said, like a Bermuda Triangle of all this shit just happens in one.
You know, did you ever watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
No.
Okay.
I feel ignorant.
So there's a whole neighborhood called Toontown where like literally all the cartoons live. So it's like Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse and, you know,
sure,
every single cartoon that's ever, like Betty Boop lives there, Popeye
Doug
lives there. Sure. Any cartoon ever.
Patrick Star
all lives in this one neighborhood. So I feel like this is like the Toontown
neighborhood of
like the paranormal Toontown.
Oh my Paranormal Toontown.
So in 1978, the whole town at one time all saw balls of light flashing over the ranch, and a UFO showed up to every single person in town and emitted a silent purring noise. And onlookers recall feeling very frightened as if someone was watching them from the UFO, but they could not look away.
So Juniper came to every person.
So Juniper just floated around in 1978.
And just purred in everyone's face.
Let everyone know
and
who was in
farted
charge.
because he is terrible.
God, those are just
terrible gas.
The worst farts. So in 1994, this is when things get real good. So buckle up.
94?
Yeah, you were 3.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I was 2.
Yeah, we know. You're younger than me. I get it.
So the Shermans, are we just going to pretend this is Tom and Linda?
And Tom were there.
They bought the ranch to start a cattle ranch for themselves, which, by the way, my mother would never do.
No, probably not.
So already the idea is ruined in my mind.
I mean, she'd probably put a nice pool in, though.
Yes, she would. So as soon as they got to the ranch, oddities and spirits and entities of sorts all started happening right away.
Oddities ensued.
And so as soon as they got into the house, they found heavy iron stakes and heavy metal chains at each end of the house, as if large animals were being chained down in front of the doors.
That's not good.
They also found padlocks inside and outside of every door and window, as if they wanted
inside and outside. Ew,
as if they needed to lock something in.
That gives me the chills. That you just move into your new house and you're like,
like, oh, that's casual.
Try to explain it away, but it's
really, this sounds like something that Renata would do. Just be like, oh, they're just locks.
Oh, I thought you meant chain everything. She'd unlock everything and be like, it's fine.
As they moved into the house, okay, so get ready. Ready. Day 1, they're moving in. Terry Sherman, who I guess is Tom Sherman.
Sure.
Terry Sherman and his father, the father was helping them move in, and they get into the house and they're unpacking things and then leave. And when they get to the porch, a large wolf approaches them.
Good start.
The wolf looks to be at least 200 pounds.
Oh, no.
And 5 feet tall while standing.
Like on its forelegs?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like it's chest
so
height
it's
on a
fucking massive wolf, basically.
Yes. And it didn't act malicious at all. It acted like it wanted to be pet.
Aww.
And then it brushed up on them.
Cue everyone listening going, aww, little wolfie.
Wait. And then the kids begged to keep him.
Yes, exactly that.
Terry said no. And
Terry, you asshole.
And then when the wolf heard that, he ran over to the truck of cattle that they were unloading into the barn and attacked one of the calves.
Sorry.
Wow, really taking it hard.
Those kids learned a quick lesson that day. Do
not. So Terry and his father were trying to get the wolf off of the calf. They were beating him and poking him with a stick and kicking the wolf in the ribs. And the wolf didn't move. So Terry's dad got his gun and shot him twice at point blank range. Both bullets clearly hit the wolf because fur and flesh flew off of the wolf and onto the ground. And the wolf didn't care.
What?
He kept trying to attack the calf. So basically what happened is he shot at the wolf a total of 6 times. And only then did the wolf release the calf and back away.
Oh my God.
But shot him straight in the chest.
Like point blank.
this wolf should not be here. And he's just like acting like, okay, I'll let it go.
And then those kids were in therapy for the rest of their lives.
Eventually, Terry shot him a final time, very obviously having shot him because there's fucking fur and blood everywhere. And all he did was back off, stare at them, and then he trotted off.
What?
And Terry and his dad ran to follow it, and they followed the tracks and ended up finding out that the tracks just halted in the middle of the field.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. So they can't die. Oh, my God. Okay.
So they can't die and they just vanish. The family continued after that, noticing balls of light in the sky, seeing orbs and hearing voices above their heads, seeing faces in the windows, seeing faces in the mirrors, apparitions of shadow men standing at the foot of their bed. Family members had nightmares, and objects would go missing and randomly appear. So very poltergeist stuff.
Poltergeisty, yeah.
At one point, the wife, Terry's wife, unloaded groceries, set them on the counter, and then when she turned around for a second, she looked back at the counter after having unloaded the groceries on the counter, and they were back in their bags.
Oh, ew! And also so rude.
There's nasty smells that they could always report, like very musky and very old, and the smell of decomp. They would also hear a foreign language being muttered into their ears, and they knew that the foreign languages were talking about them.
Oh, good.
They kept finding dead cattle intensely mutilated. I can provide pictures if you want.
No!
Okay.
That's really sad.
Some with their eyes completely removed.
Okay.
As if surgically.
Oh. They're not like mauled out.
Nope. Their teeth missing as if surgically.
What
and
the fuck?
Their genitals mutilated.
What the?
In 2 years, they lost 20% of their cattle, when usually the average amount for a rancher to lose is 1%. So
20%.
So they were losing 20 times the amount of normal cattle. Lights would float around cattle's heads before the next day when they would vanish. It's like if you saw a light floating around the cow, you'd be like, okay, he's gone.
He's a goner.
Many cows would vanish with hoof prints ending randomly in the fields, just like the wolf.
Wait, so the cattle would also vanish?
Yeah. Like something was drawing the cattle. So then they thought it was aliens abducting.
Like picking them up or something.
Like that classic
UFO.
picture of a UFO like picking up a cow in the field. It's like the footprint just went away.
It's just gone. Okay. Now that would be wild to see.
The lights would get, like the floating lights and the orbs, would get so bright that the whole sky would look like daylight. Random animals just started showing up, like random animals that should not belong in a ranch just started showing up, such as bright tropical birds in the trees.
What? Okay, I was like, what could that possibly mean? Yeah, a toucan, that's what that means.
And then random leopard-looking animals.
Oh my god.
That would not exist in that area. And over time, their outdoor cats started disappearing. And in one night, 6 outdoor cats disappeared all in one night.
Oh my god.
The dogs were also too afraid to leave the area. They were too afraid to leave their dog houses.
Poor puppies.
They were just terrified. So they didn't go anywhere. But one night, one of the dogs chased one of the lights into the woods.
Oh, no, don't tell me that.
Then 2 other dogs went to go follow that dog.
No.
So there were 3 dogs. And then Terry heard the dogs and tried to follow them. He could hear the dogs yelping. And then Terry followed their sounds, but he could not find the dogs. And then the forest went silent. And the next day in the woods, there were 3 burned circles in the ground.
Oh my god.
That looked like crop circles with, quote, gooey lumps of liquefied flesh in the center.
Why would they?
One for each dog.
Why would they do that?
And how?
I don't care but that's so mean.
The family reported their story to the Salt Lake City newspaper, and this got the attention of Robert Bigelow. And
good old Robert Bigelow.
Oh, he becomes quite a character in this. So he was very, very interested in UFOs and all that. So he called and actually paid them $200,000 for the ranch, and he turned it into a research facility for the paranormal.
So they left the ranch?
So they decided that they would leave, but Terry would stay on as a ranch manager to to preserve the livestock that that Robert would bring on as bait. Which I don't understand. Why are you preserving something that's going to go away?
Wait, so Robert, good old Bobby would...
He bought out the land.
Right.
kicked them out, but then hired Terry back on as the ranch manager to do ranch things while Robert handled paranormal facility things.
So what's weird about that?
The animals that Robert is bringing is like animals that he's like using as bait to catch something and like knowing that they're probably going to die. But like as ranch manager, one of his things was to preserve the livestock.
Oh, Terry's job was to preserve the livestock.
Yeah.
And yet they were trying to like lure in these creatures with
take
the
care
livestock.
of these animals that we're going to use and kill.
Oh, I mean, it's basically like a farm where they kill animals, I guess.
That's true.
Except for nobody gets to eat them except
aliens are real.
And toucans, apparently. Sorry, I don't know why I had such a hard time comprehending that. I get it
now. Okay, so Robert Bigelow ended up creating, it's called NIDS, stands for National Institute of Discovery Science.
NIDS.
And that was the name of the ranch, or the name of the facility that they used the ranch on. So NIDS, they hired psychiatrists, physicists, engineers, biologists, and just about any type of military guard. And they locked down the ranch, and Terry was the ranch manager. He had like the least cool job. When they founded NIDS, I don't know why it's so hard for me to say.
Because it's a weird name.
When they founded NIDS, Bigelow had also hired on some intense military staff, including Colonel John Alexander, who was a NATO advisor. And he also, we'll talk about him in a second. Basically, Colonel John Alexander, he was interviewed after the fact, after all of this, like was more recently interviewed.
Right.
And he said, this is an intense, like, military guy. He said, it's all true. It's all true. One of his favorite stories was that they had multiple cameras facing out, and camera 1 can see camera 2 can see camera 3, so on, so on. And so, like, there's
like full coverage.
Yeah, there's no way, there's nothing that could have.
No blind spots.
Exactly. And at a certain point, the tape just stopped on its own.
Oh, God.
And they were each sitting on their own, like, PVC pipe platforms, and they were duct taped on there. And there's a huge amount of duct tape holding each of the cameras down so that they can't move through the wind, or if an animal brushes up, or if something tries to knock it over. So the cameras are pretty much stuck there.
Right.
And as soon as the taping stopped, for only a third of a second,
For a third of a second,
all the wires were jerked loose at once.
No.
All of the duct tape wasn't just ripped off, it was gone. Like, they could not find it.
That just gave me chills.
And
they're like, you can no longer use this.
Yeah, and so a chunk was cut out of the wire.
Oh my God.
About 3 feet of it. It was just now totally missing. And at this time, the cattle that were around the pole were also not moving or next to it and couldn't have moved there in a third of a second.
And eaten a bite of the duct tape and also happened to,
And also they think that the cattle had been in a trance because anyone that had been approaching the cattle after everything that's been going on with the cattle, they were super jumpy. So if anything...
they probably would have been freaked out.
So if anything did move within a third of a second next to the cameras and the cattle were close by...
So did the cameras come back on and then all of a sudden all the duct tape was gone and all that?
Yeah.
What the fuck? That is so crazy.
And the cattle didn't move even though they're super jumpy.
Sure.
So they think that like they were either paused in time or hypnotized.
That's so spooky.
And so Colonel Alexander, like I said, he was also the subject of the book The Men Who Stare at Goats.
Oh,
so,
wait, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
he's
that.
part of the military group, the 1st Earth Battalion.
Yeah.
They work with trying to communicate with extraterrestrials, and they're super involved in a lot of conspiracy theories. But he's like a big guy, and even he's like, this is real. This happened.
Yeah.
So they also had veterinarians at NIDS, and so the team vet would look at the cattle, and the cattle that had been mutilated, the vet would say, there's no outward cause of death, but the bodies are too far in decomposition for me to tell. But she was also looking at some pretty gruesome stuff that, like, she was like, no animal did this. Like, it wasn't far enough in decomposition that she couldn't confirm that animals didn't do it.
Right.
Which I'll explain in a little bit.
Okay.
So George Knapp, he was a journalist that worked with them, and he saw the first time he saw the lights, he saw a bright yellow orb of lights that shot out from the ranch silently but as fast as a jet and in a perfect 360-degree loop.
Oh, God.
And then they flew away. In 1997, Terry called the news because more cattle were being mutilated with odd wounds on their ears and eyes. And the team vet looked at them again, and this time the cattle had circular spots cut out of their eyelids.
Ew!
Perfect circles.
cut out of their eyelids. It's disgusting.
And shredded ears as if they were cut with scissors.
They need to get these animals off of this land. Sorry.
Well, now they're being used as bait.
Yeah.
It's cruelty, yes.
It's very cruel,
But yeah.
Like, I now I'm understanding what you're saying from earlier, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So fucked up.
So, basically, all the team vet could say was this is clearly not a natural predator because it was happening in the middle of a snowstorm and none of those predators are even around.
Oh, ew.
The cats also started getting mutilated in broad daylight.
No, babies.
So you would just walk over and the cow would just not be there
Are they
anymore.
usually dead when this happens, or are they still alive and they have like...
Oh, no, they're dead. They're at least dead.
Oh, I thought you meant like the cows just stopped having like
The cow just
eyelids.
blinked with his circle.
Yeah, that's what
eyelids.
I thought.
No, they're all dead. They're all dead.
Okay.
Like, at least there's a little...
I guess, but
Like, at least they're not suffering.
it's so fucked up, dude.
So, one example, which I do need to show you a picture of because it's just too fucking weird.
Oh God. Okay.
Let me just find it. Elevator music. Okay, so there's two pictures.
Okay.
So the first one I was telling you about how like the teeth were getting ripped out and stuff like that.
Oh, great.
This was the first batch of cows before they were bait. This is how they found them.
What the fuck?
So like that's like not an animal. Like it left all the meat. It just destroyed the face.
Okay, the eyeballs are really, really upsetting.
literally surgically removed.
Okay, wow.
And then the next one.
What did you Google just so...
I typed in Skinwalker Ranch cow missing organs.
Great, great. Thanks for putting that on my Google Chrome
So
browser
here's
history.
the other picture. So I'll explain to you what's happening in this.
Oh no.
So Terry then came out after the cats had been mutilated and found an 85-pound calf that had been spread eagle with one of its legs yanked out of its knee socket.
Oh my God,
And then placed right next to its body, untouched in any other way. It was just taken off to be put next to it. All the internal organs are missing, and the body was drained of blood.
No.
But the weird thing is if you look, like the body, yes, is drained of blood, but there's like no sign of blood anywhere. It's not like the blood poured
It's not in
out.
a puddle of blood.
It's literally just an emptied
In
cow.
fact, there's not even blood on its body or face.
Yeah, it's just an emptied cow.
And this is extremely...
Yep.
All of this is extremely disturbing.
Yeah, it's all bad. Also, here's the fucked up part too. The mother cow was next to the calf.
Like dead?
No.
No, what the fuck?
And she looked agitated, obviously.
I wonder why.
And she looked in pain, obviously.
Oh, honey.
And the vet checked on that cow too and found out that one of her ears was missing. And the other was cut neatly down to the skull and removed with surgical precision. The only ear, so there's one ear that's missing. The other is literally just cut down but not removed.
What the fuck?
The one that's missing also didn't have its ear tag anymore, and so that's when they started thinking that this thing wants to keep souvenirs. It's just so fucking
What, like
weird.
an alien serial killer?
Yep.
Look,
We've got it's Toontown. There might as well be a serial killer in there too.
In Toontown, there's obviously got to be some bad eggs.
So the researchers also...
Can I get rid of this photo?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I just needed you to see what I meant about the blood.
Now it's a green chef menu. I'd rather look at the sweet potato tacos.
So at another point, the researchers heard dogs howling, even though no dogs were on the property anymore. Mm-hmm. They heard them next to some trees.
At least they got rid of the dogs and went like, now let's mutilate them.
I know. Oh, so the researchers heard dogs howling, found the sound coming from some trees, and found one cow standing under the tree away from the herd, which is usually a sign of distress.
Oh, honey.
A man looked above the cow and saw amber eyes in the tree above the cow.
Oh.
They shot at it, and the tree...
just shot at it.
And the eyes disappeared, and the tree looked like something had escaped from it. Like there was clearly a ruffling.
Sure.
But there was no trace of it leaving the area. However, it had somehow vanished, and there was nothing in the tree when they got closer to look. But then, when they got to the tree, they looked down at the ground, and they found a single bird print that was 6 inches wide with 2 sharp back claws. And then they found... So that was like the right foot. 6 inches wide.
6 inches. That's
and then
big.
they found the left print 20 feet further.
Ah! Big Bird was there.
Toontown.
What? Wait, but what the fuck? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How far away?
20 feet. So it takes 20-foot strides with 6-inch wide feet.
And it's eating cow eyeballs. And
it has amber eyes. It vanishes without any traces, and it has 2 sharp back foot claws.
I'm literally compelled to do the sign of the cross because I'm so disturbed by this.
Here's the one that got me.
Oh, great.
So they also had bulls and bullpens and all that. So Terry, 4 of his bulls went disappearing from the pens. And he went in, he couldn't find them. He's like, where the fuck are they? Bulls are not easy to move. And they literally just disappeared in broad daylight. Like, he had gone to the pen, he left for 10 minutes, came back, they were gone.
What? And they're fucking big. Like,
he's like, where are they? So then he goes and walks by the cattle trailer, which is like closed when it's not being used, closed and locked, and found them tightly loaded inside.
No.
And
inside the cattle trailer?
The locked from the outside or locked from the inside cattle trailer. And so,
oh no.
The trailer was locked with so it was locked inside and outside, hence the padlocks inside and outside from earlier.
Oh no.
And the outdoor locks that Terry could see, they were still locked from the outside with thick wire wrapped tightly around them, and cobwebs were untouched. So whoever moved them, first of all, you can't move 4 bulls easily in 10 minutes, but then they also did it without them freaking out and being in tight quarters with each other.
And like fucking raging, bowling themselves out of there.
And he did it without the doors, without opening doors.
I'm like shivering. This is creeping me the fuck out. And 4 of them crammed in there.
Yeah.
What the?
Terry opened the doors and the bulls were in a trance. And when he tried to open the gate to let them out, they woke up from their trance and started freaking the fuck out.
Oh my God. So they were just kind of like hypnotized in there.
They had no idea what was going on, but he said they were awake and hypnotized, like awake and in a trance.
And then it was like snapped when...
Imagine 4 bulls just staring at you and not moving.
Not. And then imagine like disturbing that peace and being like, now they're mad.
I was like, oh, better lock the gate again. Lock the gate.
But the cobweb is back on it.
So once he finally unloaded the bulls, Terry found that he was looking around like, what the fuck happened? And he found that the bars, because he also contacted Robert because the whole NIDS group is there. So they went looking through the area and they found out that the metal doors on the pen were magnetized all of a sudden and had never been magnetic before. So NIDS started checking the levels for 24 hours straight and realized that the level of magnetization in the area would go up and down on its own. And the higher the level of magnetism, the crazier the cows and the dogs would react to something that people couldn't see.
Oh, man.
So for a lot of things that were happening during this time where padlocks on pins would disappear, gates would open by themselves, still several orbs were showing up but flying around the ranch all at one time in the same intelligent movement. But they would never show up on recording. It would just look like a blank sky.
Great.
Also, Terry was starting to see 7-foot shadow men standing next to the barn.
Okay, now we're getting in that. Nope.
And he saw a UFO the size of multiple football fields with strange blinking lights.
What?
So also, Terry started finding crop circles.
Terry.
These circles were concentric and dug up with exactly 8-foot circles arranged in triangles. And the weirdest part is that the dirt that had been dug out to make these holes would also simply just vanish. No sign of it getting dumped to the side and then getting cleaned up. It just
zap,
totally gone. The holes were also so perfect that Terry says they looked like a giant cookie cutter had been put into the ground.
Oh my God.
Several witnesses also started to feel voices in their own heads, and one was quoted saying they were burning hot with their hatred from behind a dimensional curtain. I knew they were discussing me, asking questions like, why is he here and who is he, even though I couldn't understand their language. So he knew they were asking this, but
he felt
it, but also heard it in his head, but also it was in a different language, but also he didn't know what was going on.
It's like when you're at a party and you see 2 people like making a face and you're like, oh my God, they're talking about my outfit. Yep, been there.
That'll happen at Vegas, don't worry.
Yeah, we'll be the ones doing it.
So, just Allison. No.
Just kidding.
So there was another guy who was a UFO expert in the area called Joe Jr. Hicks, and he had documented over 400 cases in the last 50 years of UFO sightings. And he said that the activity really got intense in the 50s during MK Ultra. And
standard.
He remembers being in elementary school, and the entire school saw a UFO hover over the town in broad daylight, and lights started showing up all over town in the 60s and 70s. So one night, researchers were out in the field and saw a yellow orb, and researchers noticed that the orb was getting bigger and brighter and actually turned into a tunnel portal.
Oh.
The tunnel was hovering off of the ground.
Oh, don't go in there.
They didn't, because they began sweating profusely and couldn't breathe and felt like they were being suffocated by unseen hands.
Oh my God, that's like us in this hot fucking room. Sorry.
And one of them said that he saw someone in there, and he watched a solid black humanoid shadow without a face walk out of the tunnel and right past him.
Go back!
And
go back in.
Of course, after the humanoid walked out, the yellow tunnel faded until it was gone, and they looked everywhere for its tracks but couldn't find any.
Jesus.
But definitely saw it.
No.
In 1999, they actually found that the cameras were now either missing or broken every time they set them up, and this proved that the activity was repeatable and had a consciousness.
What the hell?
So Terry left the ranch and he was leaving the ranch for the night, and he saw something move across the field towards the houses.
Bye.
And for some reason, this idiot goes back.
No, that's what I'm saying. Fucking Terry, have you not learned your lesson?
Listen, the second that like his cattle was getting mutilated and someone said, "I'll pay you $200,000 to leave the property," I would have been like, "Okay, peace."
I would have been like, the second I felt a weird feeling on this ranch.
The second I saw a padlock inside the building, and
somebody paid me nothing, I'd be like, goodbye, I'm leaving.
The second I saw a chain on the outside of the house.
Eyeballs need to be missing, I'm out.
So he ran back towards the house, and when he ran towards what he thought was the light that was floating around, he came across a brownish red hyena with a butt curtain.
Like Geo's.
Like Geo, but a hyena.
Wait.
They didn't say butt curtain. A large bushy tail.
But I just am picturing Geo being friends with the hyena with a matching butt curtain.
And teaching him to love.
Oh, wait. Who's teaching? Because...
Oh, that's fair.
Geo's a Scorpio. I'm trying to figure out who's teaching whom. I don't know.
Maybe the hyena... I mean, a hyena is a Gemini, if you really think about it.
That is true. So it's basically like our friendship with Geo.
It's like me and Geo hanging out in the woods.
Fantastic.
So this creature ran away into thin air, and he watched this animal just blink vanish out of nowhere. He left no tracks, but he looked like he was running to the horses, vanished, so you would think he's no longer running to the horses. Uh-oh. However, in the time it would have taken him to still have ran to the horses, then the horses started acting up.
Oh, so he's still invisible.
It's like he went invisible and kept running.
Oh.
And then the horses started freaking out.
No.
So Terry ran over to the horses, and there were giant body claw marks in their sides of the horse.
Wait, nope.
There's also one guy named Ryan Skinner, who was a researcher at NIDS at the ranch during 2007. Oh, no. He was a researcher after the fact that went to the ranch to do some investigating. And he became obsessed with the Skinwalker Ranch in 2006 when he and his wife were going to Vegas. And
is this our fate?
During a drive, he fell asleep and his wife was driving. And he woke up to his wife screaming, "What is that?" And then saw a red light that was coming down from a giant flying object.
Oh, fantastic.
The light came down to be only 5 feet from the ground, but it was 30 feet from him. And so it was pretty fucking close. He stared at the light and then blacked out.
Oh.
He remembers kind of becoming hypnotized. And when he came to, his wife was screaming his name because 3 humanoid figures were walking towards them.
Oh, God.
And they were not human.
Oh, God.
So they drove away as fast as they could, but the red light and the red glow of the UFO followed them. The UFO disappeared into just the light, so they could only see the reflection of the light, but not actually the UFO itself. So they were just getting chased by this red light. Kind of like how I chase the cat around with a laser.
As a humanoid figure.
Yes. And so the light was following them, and it caught up to the side of their car, and Ryan looks down by his car door and watches the light mutate into an alien face, and then his car turns off.
Cool. Fabulous. That's fucking great.
Okay, then super anticlimactic. The light then faded away, but when Ryan started researching about the area, he found out he was only a mile off of the Skinwalker Ranch. Since researching there, Ryan has also seen the giant wolf that Terry talked about in 1994. He has seen lights floating everywhere and has hallucinated voices and pictures. And he says something has been trying to communicate with him telepathically. He has interviewed many guards from the ranch and residents nearby. And he is convinced that this is just the creepiest, I don't even know if haunted is the right word, but most heaviest activity.
Like active, right.
So basically, that's all the story of Terry. But the NIDS itself, they stayed around until 2004. And they were quoted saying UFOs seen in the area were not consistent with current military aircrafts. That was like their big thing. Like, these are definitely not military aircrafts. They talked about it all the time. And then in 2004, when they started making these kinds of announcements, NIDS got shut down.
Oh.
Which is where the conspiracy theory starts coming out.
Sure.
Because it's like, oh, all of a sudden they're saying this shit, and then the government...
It's like, you're no longer allowed to do this.
So then Robert Bigelow pulled out of the ranch entirely, and nobody knows why he pulled out. And
That's what she said.
And all of his data that he ever took for 10 years is totally locked up.
What? Locked
8
up
years.
where?
I'll tell you. So Bigelow also made the claim that after NIDS got shut down, he made the claim that there was no data to support the paranormal activity.
Oh, man.
However, he had previously stated in several interviews, one of them in which was Wired magazine.
Wired? Really?
And he said, quote, I have an enormous amount of data from a lot of different sources that give me some pretty strong convictions about the authenticity of the existence of phenomena such as UFOs. So then only 3 years later, this is where it gets really conspiracy theory-ish. 3 years later, 2007, a secret project backed by the Pentagon is started by the Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. And the whole secret project backed by the Pentagon was to study unidentified aerial phenomena, now known as UAP, not UFO. Robert Bigelow, who happened to be one of his closest friends.
No way. He's friends with Harry Reid. Okay, got it.
So Harry Reid made the secret project backed by the Pentagon, and then his best friend, who happens to have ran this 8-year paranormal project where they've got all of these findings.
Right.
His friend Robert happens to just win the bid for a contract that Harry Reid was doing with this project. $22 million for a new facility on the same ranch.
Oh, snap.
And they created the Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Space Studies, or BASS. And
They're really great at these acronyms.
Backed by NASA and backed by the Pentagon.
Wow.
And a spokesperson for BASS said that the company had no comment relating to Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, so they just casually put their
They just casually now have
there.
a secret project headquarters on
But it's
a
not
facility.
secret. They just have no comment that we're allowed to know.
One of BASS's projects was called AATIP, the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program.
What?
Which was a secret effort funded by the government to study specifically UFOs, specifically on Skinwalker Ranch. So they're saying, oh no, we have...
Specifically in that spot.
So it's like, oh, we have no comment relative to the Skinwalker Ranch, but we are going to create the AA tip just so we can look at UFOs on Skinwalker Ranch.
But it has nothing to do with Skinwalker
And
Ranch.
also, like, I did not earn this money unfairly from my best friend, who is like a majority Senate leader.
What the fuck?
Senate majority leader. I'm not an idiot. Before people say things. So in 2012, BASS lost their funding from the Department of Defense. Let's remember the Department of Defense
is literally funding this. Okay, got
and
it.
the AATIP contract expired, and it was not renewed because a former member had publicly announced that he heard and knew, so he was confirming for everyone publicly, that, by the way, BASS exists. By the way, AATIP exists. By the way, the Department of Defense and NASA have been backing this. And the contract expired and did not get renewed because this person also said out loud that the officials fear the public of learning about the program and potentially learning about the misappropriation of taxpayer funds.
Oh, man.
So that guy is probably Edward Snowden.
Is probably what? Edward Snowden.
He's probably in Russia right now.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Right after the closure of AATIP, this is the creepy part. Right after the closure of this secret Skinwalker Ranch paranormal specific project, it was almost as if there was like a divine deal with the aliens, because out of nowhere, after it's been closed and there should be no more money getting funded for this, a unique weird-looking war monument was suddenly paid for by the government and built on the land.
A war monument?
Yes. So in 2016, Skinwalker Ranch, so after this like monument was shown up, in 2016, Skinwalker Ranch was sold for $4.5 million to an undisclosed buyer who just happens to be there now. We don't know what he does.
Oh my God, I know who it is. I bet it's Elon Musk.
Oh, there it is.
No, I'm serious.
Maybe.
Sounds like some shit he would pull. I'm serious.
So Bass is now assumed to be disbanded. Also, I want to say I got a lot of this information literally from like, I think it's called skinwalkerranch.com or something. But
.org.
.org?
Yeah, I Googled it while you...
Oh, cool. Okay.
While you're talking about it.
So, okay. But yeah, so if the information that I have wasn't from Ghost Diaries by Johnny Mahan, then it was from skinwalkerranch.org. And that was, I think it's ran by Ryan Skinner, the guy with his...
I love that.
Okay. So any information is, I'm getting it literally like basically...
From the source.
Verbatim from the source. Because
Yeah.
I don't want to... There's so many moving parts in this story. I just didn't want to be wrong. So Bass is assumed to be disbanded. And they say that the security team has been removed. However, there's new security for whatever this undisclosed buyer... There's new security that's now on the property, and they have very, very strong military-grade weapons, apparently.
Oh, shit.
The ranch is closed to the public, and there's a checkpoint with a giant sign that's been put up that tells people they can't go past the gate. And a lot of people are like, okay, maybe it's just like a no trespassing thing. But a lot of people also think, oh, they're keeping the public from secrets or from seeing an alien or some shit like that.
Right.
Police nearby have pulled trespassers over to say, you need to be careful in this area. You're messing with something that's not good. This is a quote.
Uh-oh.
You need to be careful. You're messing with something that's not good. You're actively hunting it. It will hunt you back. I've seen it happen. These things will attach to you. They will follow you. This is real. People I know have been driven mad by it. You're hunting this thing and it knows it. You need to be really careful.
Oh, okay. There goes all the fun in that.
So, in 2017...
Why are we doing
That was my
this?
drum roll. Oh, with one hand.
I thought we were knocking on wood with our palms.
Oh.
Because I'm knocking on wood over here like, fuck this.
Okay, so in 2017, the New York Times released a story about the Department of Defense officially confirming AA tip.
Oh my God.
And Senator Harry Reid confirmed he procured funds, $22 million, or helped in the procuring of the funds,
Sure.
which was awarded to Robert Bigelow and Bass, which was confirmed to have conducted a study on UFOs for the Pentagon. And in one statement, Knapp, who used to be a reporter during the NIDS era,
Right.
he showed a document which confirmed that during the time of the Pentagon program, Bass had hired, trained, and deployed, quote, 50 full-time staff comprising of retired military intelligence and law enforcement officers, PhD-level scientists, engineers, technicians, analysts, translators, and project managers to create the largest multidisciplinary full-time team in history to investigate the UFO topic.
What the fuck?
The document also says that Bass's investigation proved the many ways that this phenomenon showed itself, including, quote from the document, bizarre creatures, poltergeist activity, invisible entities, orbs of light, animal and human injuries, and much more.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Official documentation.
Bass also said that they were using human bodies as readout systems for interactions with the UFOs and then studying those bodies, immunology, cell biology, and neuroanatomy for the effects of UFOs on people.
Oh my God. That's fascinating.
So they were actually using people as like the sensor for UFOs. And the goal was to bypass human manipulation and so like human deception.
Sure.
And like any perception they had that could have been like hypnotized or tranced or convinced that they saw, but they didn't actually see. They didn't want to rely on just eyewitness testimony. They wanted to be able to see what was molecularly happening to those people after interacting with the UFOs.
Oh my God, that is creepy.
One former member of that program says that the NSA was signing the paychecks to Bass. Interesting.
What?
And at one point, a few high-ranking military officers had actually visited the area and were so disturbed that they demanded to leave immediately.
Oh my God! Oh my God.
So with this guy, he was one of the former guards, and he is talking about how he knew that he was like being a guinea pig, but they wouldn't tell him why or about what, because he like wasn't like military. He was just like,
Sure.
they just paid a guy to be a guard, and then they were like actually testing his molecular anatomy afterwards.
Right.
And so he says that he remembers being told to patrol the perimeter for 24/7, accompanied by dogs, but the dogs weren't guard dogs or security dogs either. The dogs were just like household pets.
Oh.
So it was like, so if other people looked at the field, it would look like they were being patrolled
Like-
with dogs, but it was actually like just like Geo. And the reason,
It was just Geo.
so it was like, in one way it would be so everyone else thought there was like serious guards and they wouldn't like want to come near the area.
Oh.
But then also it was because the dogs weren't the guards. The dogs were being used as a tool because they are able to sense things before humans. And so they wanted them to walk around with normal household pet dogs to see if they reacted a certain way to then warn the humans to get out of that area.
Oh.
And then they were testing the humans like urine and doing brain tests and everything after the dog reacted weirdly.
So like trained dogs wouldn't be able to like
Probably, but I think they just wanted to just try any animal.
just like
They just knew that
the
like
basic level of a pet rather than like
they just knew that animals have different instincts than humans, so like they used the dogs as like sensors of like
what
if the dog is acting weird, just get out of that area and then give us your urine.
what a fun game that is.
So there were I'm almost done by the way. So whenever the personnel saw or felt something after the dog reacted, they were required to have their urine tested and bring back vials of their blood to headquarters in Vegas. And this is in Utah. They had by the end of their shift.
So like within hours,
They had to go to Vegas and give
Here's
people
my blood.
their blood and pee if a dog acted weird. Because that meant that they were in like an area where that was magnetized or had UFO energy.
I would just be like, please don't act up, dog.
I know.
I mean, Geo acts weird when he fucking finds a snail on the ground. I don't know.
Apparently, quote, brain scans, they didn't even know what they were. Brain scans were also performed, although the guards were never informed of the results or why they were being read.
What?
Several people from the Defense Department and BASS, before it was disbanded, they have become part of a new for-profit company called To the Stars Academy. Members claim that they have no affiliation with Robert Bigelow or were ever a part of NIDS or that NIDS has any secret funding. Like is still like secretly around, but with secret funding.
Right.
So they say, oh, we never knew each other before or anything. However, a board member of NIDS is now the vice president of To the Stars. A reporter for NIDS is now the biotech consultant, and the man in
Shut the fuck up.
and the man in charge of contracting BASS with the Pentagon is the director of global security.
Shut up. Are you freaking kidding me?
Skinwalker Ranch.
And now
that came out in 2017. That was last year.
Yeah, now we have the fucking NSA on our ass.
Why do you think?
Not that we didn't have it before, but now we're really fucked.
But also, like, that was so long, and I'm so sorry, but it was also so concise
No.
compared to... Do you realize
There's so much.
there was so many stories I could have given about, like, all the, like, Skinwalker things people have
The
seen?
crazy shit. Well, I mean, even in that Astonishing Legends did, like, a multi-part episode.
Yeah.
And their whole episode's, like, over an hour
Yeah.
just on that topic. So they did, like, 4 hours on this. And they didn't cover everything. Like,
Yeah.
I heard stuff in yours that I'd never heard in there, so...
It's bananas.
I just can't even imagine. Especially because it was so long ago that it, like, so many decades.
Yeah.
And then, like, government involvement.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my one question, though.
Yeah.
Is it too late to change? I know you made an itinerary, but is it too late to change the Vegas itinerary to Skinwalker Ranch?
Well, I would. I mean, but I'm also a spontaneous kind of person.
But I'm saying, is it too late, or can we, like...
Like, just move the whole party to Skinwalker Ranch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
In high school, my friends used to get drunk in fields all the time, so it wouldn't be much different for me. I would just drag you out.
It would just be different, except that we're all getting mutilated and our eyes cut out.
Yeah.
Good.
I would feel like I was back in high school, though, so that's nice.
Until we all got our bowels
No, that was high school.
removed.
I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's your version. Okay, got
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I had a crazy time.
In mine, we just, like, straightened our bangs really straight and, like... sang a lot of Billy
yeah,
Talent.
no, we had circular parts of our eyelids removed surgically.
Oh, well, you took a whole punch and you went boop boop.
Yeah, but we just didn't remember it the next day. So,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, high school is tough on everyone.
Listen, we just want to say if you're a teen,
and you're going through that.
if your eyelids have weird circles,
Yep.
if you're in a field and, like, maybe you get disemboweled, like, we get it.
Yeah,
We've
we
all-
just want to relive it now at 26
We've
and
all
27.
been there. Anyway.
We're sorry.
OM.
Green Chef is a USDA certified organic company that includes everything you need to easily cook delicious meals that you feel good about.
Recipes are quick and easy with step-by-step instructions, chef tips, and photos to guide you along, and everything is handpicked and delivered right to your door.
And the Green Chef expert chefs design recipes with gourmet flavor you typically only find in restaurants.
You can switch up your meal plan and change the box you're getting whenever you want.
And Green Chef thinks dinner should be planned around your life, not the other way around.
So let Green Chef do the meal planning, grocery shopping, and most of the prep for you week after week.
Meal plans include paleo, vegan, vegetarian, keto, gluten-free, omnivore, and carnivore. So you get like all of this, like any option, whatever you're going through in life and whatever diet you choose to be on, Green Chef is there for you.
That's amazing. You can change it at any time too. So I love Green Chef. I cooked all the meals 3 days in a row because I just wanted to eat all of them at once. So I spread them out over 3 days. Very happy with them. I did which one did I do? Oh, I did the vegetarian one and I really loved it.
I'm pretty excited to try the keto one. I have heard good things about the keto diet, so I might be going on that soon. So Green Chef is definitely going to save my butt.
Very trendy diet right now.
I'm a trendy kind of guy.
So I personally really loved the collard wrapped enchiladas, and I've been trying to go veggie lately, and it was just as good as any meat meal I've ever had. So I was really, really happy with it, and I think I'm going to stick to the vegetarian options. So highly recommend. I haven't tried any of the other diets, but if you try keto, let me know.
Yes, I'm also looking forward to trying vegan. Just to spice
Why
my life up.
not,
I mean,
you know?
I'm trendy.
You gotta be the LA trend, you know?
If you guys want to try Green Chef for yourself, you can get $50 off your first box if you go to greenchef.us/drink.
That's $50 off your first box of Green Chef by going to greenchef.us/drink. So I recently started using this amazing skincare line called BioClarity, and I want to tell you guys about it. It is this gentle green skincare line that actually works so well. It's my new favorite. It's made of botanical ingredients such as Floralux from chlorophyll.
Ooh.
I know. I have like textured skin, and it really helped my face feel, glowy and soft. I would make you feel it, but I'm not going to, Em.
Oh, shame.
Yep.
There's also a clear skin routine for oily and breakout prone skin, which is me. It's just 3 easy steps. You cleanse, treat, and restore. That's the magic of BioClarity. It contains nourishing plant extracts like chamomile and green tea and cucumber and lots of things I like to eat. And it helps fight breakouts, soothe skin, minimize redness, reduce pore size, and even skin tone.
And meanwhile, I'm on the dry skin spectrum, and it has helped me so much, especially in the summer when you feel like you're just hot and sweaty all the time. And it's light enough that it doesn't feel like you're weighing down your skin.
You said that it's made of Floralux.
I did.
What is that?
Ugh, you silly novice. Let me tell you. Floralux is a clever form of chlorophyll. It's proven for nourishing the skin, soothing away imperfections and blemishes. It has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties that feed your skin from the outside in. Basically, this is the LA language speaking, it's like green juice for your face.
Ugh. The LA and me totally knew what you were talking about.
That's where I got you. You're like, now I'm on board.
Yes. BioClarity is delivered straight to you and is an easy-to-use 3-step skincare routine that's 100% vegan, plus gluten and cruelty-free.
Love the cruelty-free aspect.
Love the gluten-free aspect.
All of it.
Love the Floralux.
Love
that
the
clever
Floralux.
green juice.
So clever, so green.
So if you want to get started on healthier habits with your skincare, just go to bioclarity.com. Our listeners are going to get their first month for 50% off a routine, plus it's free shipping.
And it comes with a 100% risk-free money-back guarantee, but you do need to enter our code DRINK to get that.
That's bioclarity.com and enter code DRINK.
All right, Em, are you ready for my story?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the story of Joseph Kallinger.
I don't know him.
Great. I did not know him either before today.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a little rundown. So Joseph Kallinger was born as Joseph Lee Brenner III on December 11th, 1935 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. When he was only a month old, his parents put him into a boarding home where he only saw his mother once a week and developed severe separation anxiety, which is really fucked because he's a month old. So
yeah,
it's already fucking up your brain.
It's already in his psyche.
In 1937, when little baby Joseph was just 2 years old, his father abandoned his mother, and his mother decided to place him in foster care because she couldn't care for him and couldn't find, I guess, a man. The information said she couldn't find a man to help her care for him. And it was 1937. So, sure.
She
needed
a man.
Help. Yeah. someone who could make money in 1937.
Yeah, a woman making money?
LOL. Indeed. He was subsequently adopted by Austrian immigrants named Stephen and Anna Kallinger. And usually at this point I would say, oh, I'm part Austrian, but now I want to really just distance myself from these people as much as possible.
I'm part Austrian.
Are you?
Yeah.
Me too. How much?
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm also German.
I feel like we're the opposite where, like, I'm part Ashkenazi Jew, but, like, 0.5%.
And I'm 46%
yeah,
Ashkenaz.
Exactly. And then I'm Austrian, and I'm like 30%, and you're probably, like, less than that. We're, like, trading.
I mean, on my mom's side, I know that I'm Russian, Austrian, and Polish, but I don't know what the degrees are.
I'm, like, the most specific, like, 75% white German people, 25% Austrian. And then even that within itself is like, my mom's like, you're not Austrian. And I'm like, I mean,
I am
Austrian. And the Austrian side's like, remember that you're Austrian. And I'm like, it's the same thing. Like, I'm just white and I speak German. Who, like, okay, let's not go there.
Oh my God.
I just think it's silly. Okay, blah, 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 blah. So he's Austrian. He's subsequently adopted by Austrian immigrants named Stephen and Anna Kallinger. Unfortunately, like I sort of hinted at, his adoptive parents are fucking terribly abusive.
Got it.
So here's some of the punishments his parents forced upon him. They forced him to kneel on jagged rocks for hours, locked him inside closets, forced him to consume excrement, forced him to commit self-injury, burned him with irons, whipped him with belts, and starved him. He once heard the F word from some neighborhood kids, and when he said it later that day, not knowing what it meant, his dad beat him with a leather strap, his mother beat him with a wooden spoon, and the beatings lasted for over a week, although he never understood what the word meant, never knew why he was being punished. Like, it was just so...
Oh my God.
Mentally traumatic. Like, he had no idea. He just said the word as, like, a kid.
Right.
And had no understanding of why he was being punished. In fact, they abuse... Okay. I mean, obviously, this is already an upsetting story, but just FYI, child abuse plays a part in this story. If anyone...
Hasn't picked up on that yet?
Hasn't picked up on it or has...
Triggers,
yeah. So they abused Joseph so severely that by age 6, he suffered a hernia that was inflicted by his adoptive father. And the hernia actually required surgery to be repaired. And when he got home, his parents told him that while he was in surgery, the doctors also gave him surgery to keep his bird/penis small and make it not work for the rest of his life.
What?
And he was 6. So they were, like, emasculating him. They were basically telling him, like, I mean, they were obviously beating the shit out of him.
Can you really get a doctor to do that on a 6-year-old?
No, they were just telling him, like, by the way, your penis will never work now.
Oh, okay.
They were just trying to emasculate him.
Got me. For a second, I was like, oh my God.
You were like, uh-oh. No, they were truly just fucking with him. They were like, oh, by the way, while you were in surgery for this hernia your father caused in your body, they also made your penis not work forever. Okay. Like, that was what they did.
Jeez.
Yeah. When he was 8, his mother hit him in the head 4 times with a hammer because he wanted to go on a class trip to the zoo.
Oh.
Yep. It gets worse. Later that year, Joseph was sexually assaulted by a group of neighborhood boys. He was held at knife point by older boys while one performed oral sex on him. On his birthday, his parents got him nothing as a gift on his 9th birthday. So he went to school and cut up his classmates' coats with scissors. By age 11, so he's 11 now, he's still struggling to make friends. He's lived with these people for like 9 years, just being constantly punished and tortured. Age 11, he's still struggling making friends. So he starts stealing money from his parents to convince neighborhood kids to go to the movies with him. Because he's like, oh, if I pay for my, classmates' movie tickets, maybe they'll be my friends and want to hang out with me. So when his parents find out, they force him to hold his fingers on the stove until he's burned severely. And in fact, this happened a total of 6 times because they kept finding out. But he thought the punishment was worth it because he was finding that
he just wanted a friend.
Yes, people would go to the movies with him, and he was like, I don't care if I have to burn my fingertips off. Like, I want to go to the movies with a friend or 2 or whatever. So he thought it was worth the punishment, which is just very sad. 11 years old.
So sad.
Yeah. Of course, as in all my stories, things only go downhill from here. Let's move on. In 1949, Joseph is 13. He cuts a hole in the wall for masturbation. He uses a knife to achieve orgasm.
What?
Because...
He stabs himself?
No. He would cut and stab pictures of naked men and women to become aroused. So he's been sexually assaulted by this group of older men who are holding him by knife point. Older boys holding him by knife point, whatever. So he's feeling violent. He has a knife, and initially he would hold a knife and use that to be aroused, but then it got to the point where he would actually cut out pictures of naked men and women and then use his knife to like slash at them to become aroused. When he's 15, Joseph gets a part of Ebenezer Scrooge in the local performance of A Christmas Carol at the YWCA, which at that age I would have dreamed of having that, and I wasn't. He'd always wanted to be an actor, but his parents laughed at him and refused to see him perform. So as much as like they've already beaten the shit out of him, now he's 15 and they still won't even give him the slightest like emotional support. And I'm sorry, I'm going to take a quick like
step further
sidebar here, because like, I don't know if you know this, I don't know if anyone knows this, but like Blaze and I want to adopt kids and be foster parents, and just the thought that like you'd adopt a child
just to treat them like
you're
garbage.
One child, you adopted one child, and then you fucking hurt them so badly. I don't understand. I really don't.
Yeah.
Like anyway, it upsets me and it makes me even more want to be a foster parent. Anyway, okay. So here we go, and we're about to go on a wild ride.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay, so he's age 15. Joseph receives a message from God.
Okay. All right. Wow. We're really switching emotional gears here.
I just want you to just like buckle up and get on board. He's told by God to heal and save people through their feet.
Does he become like a foot masseuse or?
So it should be noted, his father owned a shoe shop and he worked as a shoemaker.
Got it.
And it took me a while to connect this because it wasn't listed in every article.
Got it.
And at first I'm like, yeah, I thought like a masseuse, like I really didn't understand. Like
do really good pedicures or
massage therapist.
Yeah.
Like I really didn't understand. But I finally like kind of put it together because sometimes he is called the shoemaker. That's like his like moniker. Okay, so his dad owned this like shoe shop and he worked there. So, okay, so he got this, I guess, message from
God.
Allah. Yes.
Okay.
Save people through their feet.
Praise be unto him.
Praise be unto him. And this is where things, I really just tried in this paragraph to understand what was happening, and I just couldn't. So all I know is that according to a timeline created by researchers at the Department of Psychology at Radford University in Virginia, their timeline actually like really helped me find because like Wikipedia and Murderpedia and whatever had a lot of information, but I feel like their timeline had like such specific, like it was like this year he was this many years old and this is what happened, just very succinct. So I want to thank them for their very helpful timeline. So according to their timeline, over the next 21 years, so from his age 15 when he started receiving these messages from God to age 36, Joseph conducted over 40,000 experiments.
Doing what?
As a result of this message.
Wow.
And doing what is the exact thing that I spent approximately 25 minutes trying to find out.
Uh-huh.
Not one article explains this.
Oh.
A lot of them say he conducted over 40,000 experiments. And I'm like
science experiments?
I don't know.
Self-journey, emotional experience?
Right? Like meditation moments? Like,
was he able to like finally do a pull-up? Because I have yet to have that experience.
Oh, don't get me started. I was going to tweet about this, but I'm just going to tell you right now that you've mentioned this, I don't know if I told you this. It upset me for like a full week. I've been practicing lucid dreaming, and they tell you like if you're doing something in your dream that seems abnormal, you should you do like a test by putting your fingers on your palm to make sure you're awake.
Yeah.
And if you say, I want my finger to go through my palm, and it does, that means you're lucid dreaming. And then you become aware in your dream, and you're able to interact with your dream and your consciousness, your subconscious, and whatever. And so I had a dream where I was able to do 40 pull-ups.
Huh.
And I
What a dream.
I woke up the next morning going, and my fucking subconscious wasn't like, nope, this seems irrational. We're going to do a reality check. Nope. My dream was like, yep, this is right. And I woke up and I actually was so upset because I was like, all my life I've never been able to do a pull-up. And in my dream, my brain was like, here, let's give her something really irrational to make sure she knows we're lucid dreaming. And I had 40
like,
pull-ups.
fuck the tapping your hand. Let's do something impossible.
And then I still was like, yes, this seems right. This seems completely rational. Okay. Point being, I don't quite know what on earth these experiments were, but according to several articles, that is what happened. But things get weirder, so don't worry. Like, I'm not letting you down.
Good.
On the weirdness. So around this time, he meets a girl named Hilda Bergman, whom he starts dating, despite his parents' disapproval. The two of them move into their own place at age 15. But Joseph continues to work at his father's shoe shop. Like I mentioned, he's a shoemaker, and apparently doing 40,000 experiments. 40,000 mystery experiments. That really bothers me. I spent so much time trying to figure that out. If anybody knows, like, please fucking tell me. Like, usually I'm like, don't email me, don't tell me, don't correct me. Please tell me if you know what
Tell us at least one of the 40,000.
40,000. Like, what does that mean?
Also, was he keeping track?
Who?
How does he know 40,000? And if he was keeping track, why isn't there a log?
And also, if someone else is keeping track,
yeah,
they should have a log.
Clearly, there's proof enough for us to know the number.
Thank you. Exactly. So, when Joseph turns 17, he drops out of school to start working full-time and to marry Hilda. So they get married at 17. A few years and 2 kids later, though, Hilda leaves him because of his abusive tendencies. On September 4th, 1957, Joseph is hospitalized due to severe headaches and loss of appetite, and doctors believe this was a result of stress surrounding his divorce. He remarries on April 20th, 1958, so like 6 months later.
Yeah, I was going to say right away.
Pretty soon later, he remarries, and with his second wife, he has 5 children.
Jeez.
Yes. So he is, again, extremely abusive towards his family. He often inflicts the same punishments on them that he suffered from his adoptive parents.
Jesus.
Which, like, as I mentioned, are pretty fucked up. Throughout the next decade, Kallinger would spend his time in and out of mental institutions for amnesia, attempted suicide, and committing arson. So again, this Radford University timeline, it's like this big list of just in this section of 10 years. It's just like these moments of him casually burning his house down a few times.
Oh, good.
Then just like casually committing suicide or attempting suicide a few times. And the list is just very like, Kallinger sets his house on fire. 2 years later, Kallinger sets his house on fire. Like, it's just very, the timeline is ridiculous. He's literally just,
it's very calculating and not like,
it's just like
reading the humor.
It's just absurd. Like, how often, like, Wikipedia was just like, let's just put this into a 10-year span where he just repeatedly set his house on fire, tried to kill himself. We'll just condense it into one sentence.
Yeah.
So in 1972, 14 years after he married his second wife, 3 of Joseph's children end up going to the police and accusing their father of abusing them. While being evaluated, Joseph received an 82 on an IQ test and was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia.
Oh.
That summer, he is found guilty of child abuse and is sentenced to 4 years probation with mandatory psychiatric treatment. And Joseph at this point is hallucinating constantly. He regularly holds conversations with a disembodied head.
Oh.
Named Charlie.
Okay.
He's also receiving personal orders from God, as we already know.
Right.
In June of 1974, Joseph tells his 13-year-old son, Michael, all about his orders from God. He told Michael that these orders instructed him to murder young boys and sever their genitals.
Oh, no.
He asked for his son Michael's help.
Did Michael help?
And Michael said, with enthusiasm, Glad to help, Dad.
Oh, no.
On July 7th, 1974, Joseph and Michael, who's 13, once again, just to clarify, murdered 10-year-old Jose Collazo, a young child from Puerto Rico, by first torturing him and then cutting off his genitals.
Oh, my God.
So that's the beginning of a beautiful friendship between Joseph and his son.
Yes. Quite a spiral.
Quite a spiral, indeed. The worst kind of spiral.
The worst kind of bond.
The worst kind of...
But the strongest kind of bond.
The strongest and the worst kind of parental bond.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That August, Joseph Jr., so this is one of Joseph's kids. So one of his sons is named Joseph Jr. That August of 1974, a month after he tells Michael all about this, his message from God. That August, Joseph Jr. is found dead in the rubble of an old building, which just so happened to be 2 weeks after Joseph took out a large life insurance policy on his sons, all of his sons.
Ooh.
The insurance company suspected foul play, didn't pay up. The cause of death could not be determined, though, so Joseph was let off the hook, although he later admitted to drowning his own 11-year-old son.
Jesus.
For the insurance money. He also explained that he had initially tried to talk Joseph Jr. into walking off a cliff by asking him to walk backwards while posing for a photo.
Oh my God.
So he was like at a cliff and he was like, oh, just a few steps back, just a few steps back. And then the kid was like, no, I'm going to fall. So instead he fucking drowned him with his own two hands.
Oh my God.
In November of that same year, in 1974, Joseph and Michael continue their crimes together. So they're now like a fucking crime team. They robbed, assaulted, and sexually abused 4 families and murdered 3 people. In December of 1974, they kidnapped 4 women during their bridge game.
Oh my God.
So these
poor women are playing bridge.
4 older women.
The year of bridge.
The year of bridge. They're playing bridge. And Joseph and Michael show up, force their way into the house, kidnap them, and steal $20,000 worth of valuables and cash.
Oh my God.
They then held one of the women captive in her home and forced her to perform sexual acts on Joseph at gunpoint. The way they would actually get into the houses was to pretend to be salesmen. They'd, show up and be all charming. But then, and of course, he has a fucking 13-year-old boy with him. So it's like easy to be like, oh, we're a father-son salesman team.
Yeah, he's in training.
Exactly. But they always had guns on them. They had weapons on them. So in early 1975, Joseph and Michael forced their way into a house in Leonia, New Jersey, armed with knives and guns. They take 8 hostages. They tie them up with cords from various household appliances, and they make them strip their clothes. Of the 8 hostages, they only killed 1 woman. It was a 21-year-old nurse named Maria Fasching, who walked in on the scene to visit her elderly neighbor, who she wanted to stop by and offer help because she sometimes stopped by to like help her out and
oh my gosh,
offer help around the house. So she shows up. She's 21 years old. She walks in on the scene and Joseph slits her throat and kills her. One hostage was able to escape and alert a neighbor. So the police arrive on the scene to find Maria dead and the 7 hostages mostly naked and still tied up in the basement.
Oh my God.
9 days later, Joseph and his 2 sons, Michael, who he was doing all this fucked up with bullshit with, and James, who's 11, were arrested in their homes. Were arrested in their home after police linked Joseph to the crime via a blood-stained shirt he had dumped on the side of the road. And they didn't know this. Because at first I was like, why would they arrest Michael and Joseph? Turns out Michael and Joseph looked similar enough where the police weren't sure which of them was the accomplice.
Got it.
So they took both of them in, and they eventually released Joseph and kept Michael. I was just thinking, can you imagine being Joseph and you're just minding your own business and the police show up and they're like, you murdered people. And he's like, what the fuck?
It's like, no.
Like, I don't have anything to do with this. They figured out it was Michael, not Joseph. Let him go home. So Joseph Kallinger was determined competent to stand trial because he knew right from wrong, even though he tried to plead insanity. He was charged with 4 counts of robbery, 4 counts of false imprisonment, and 1 count of burglary. He, of course, testified in his own trial. He told the jury that God communicated with him and told him what to do. He said that he was, in fact, the son of God, and had
What's happening?
And had also existed as a butterfly.
Oh, wow.
I forgot that was in there.
It's just so, it catches you off guard because it's so lighthearted compared to everything else.
It's so like...
If the whole story was that, I'd be like, then you fucking be a butterfly, man.
Thank you. It's like, oh, the Lord instructed me to murder 3 million people and my own family and... Oh, but also I was a butterfly. It's like,
fuck, can't we all be butterflies? That's fine.
That part I'm on board with. Yes. So... It took the jury less than an hour to find Joseph Kallinger guilty, and he was sentenced to 30 to 80 years in prison. Michael, the 13-year-old son, meanwhile, was judged to be under his father's control and was sentenced to a reformatory, and he was to be released at 21. So at age 21, he moved out of state and changed his name, so he's kind of off the radar, which is probably for the best. Hopefully he hasn't done anything else. I feel like after a traumatic experience of slitting people's throats and raping people and who knows. But
I hope you quit at some point.
Let's hope that it was just his dad's fault. So while Joseph waited in jail to begin his murder trial in New Jersey, he began to act out and try to draw attention to his mental illness, but authorities determined that he was faking it by being like, I'm so crazy, and they were like, yeah, you can't fool us. Like, we know what you did was fucked up.
Yeah.
On September 13th, 1976, Joseph Kallinger, who is now 40, went on trial in Hackensack, New Jersey for the murder of Maria, who was the nurse, and the taking of the hostages. He, of course, pleaded not guilty. And a month later, October 13th, 1976, which is my wedding day, by the way, in case you forgot.
Yep.
My wedding was a twinkle in everyone's eye. In 1976, Kallinger was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison for the murder of Maria and the holding of the hostages. Mm-hmm. A few months later, he set himself on fire.
For good? That was how he went?
Nope.
Oh.
He just casually was like, maybe this will work. Oh. Set himself on fire.
One of 40,001 experiments.
Yes, there we go. Now we're moving into the pyrotechnic phase.
Yeah.
He set himself on fire in his prison cell. They were like, nope, can't do that. So authorities moved him to a hospital for the criminally insane in Waymart, Pennsylvania, where he slashed another convict's throat for no reason. Other than that, the voices told him to do it.
Oh, shit.
He did various television interviews, some of which I watched and felt real weird about watching in the Nickelodeon studio. And in these interviews, he explains his ongoing desire to slaughter every person on Earth.
Oh, my God.
And then commit suicide so he can become God.
Not the butterfly.
No, he was a butterfly.
He doesn't feel like going back. Got it.
Butterfly to God.
Got it.
It's all, you know how you mentioned...
God's social butterfly.
You know how you mentioned the progression of the skinwalkers? Mm-hmm. Ending up as a wolf.
Right.
So we're kind of going...
So stage 1, butterfly.
Butterfly, God.
Got it. Got it.
Yep.
I really wish the whole story was that he just thought he was a butterfly. That was just so kind and nice.
It would have been a much better version of paranoid schizophrenia if it was just about butterflies, but unfortunately it got very violent. Mm-hmm. Yes.
It got violent.
In some terrible, terrible ways. He says he has been instructed to kill at least 3 million people, and his son Joseph, who was found in the rubble at a construction site, was a sacrifice to prove that he was willing and able to kill his own.
It's like this Abraham nonsense.
Thank you. Exactly. I was surprised in the interview I watched that they didn't mention it, but I was like, hello.
Fresh.
Old
hello,
Testament.
Abraham.
I was thinking, hello, Old Testament, but hello, Fresh works too. Hello, Old Testament. Come on, baby. So Joseph spent the next 5 years in solitary confinement on suicide watch, exactly because he was saying, I'm going to kill myself and become God.
Right.
until March 26, 1966. On that day, Joseph Kallinger died of heart failure at the age of 59.
Oh, boy.
He's very young. So when asked whether he thought his client was evil or sick or both, Kallinger's lawyer, whose name was Paul Giblin, gave his opinion. I'm going to read that to you. Paul said, he was sick. He was an evil man, and the evilness was a manifestation of the illness, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
Because it goes toward that like mental illness and evil and like that like blurred line between them. And I think it's interesting to say like...
And like nurture over nature and all that.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting to say this sickness was what created this or caused this evilness inside him.
Right, he was not born like that. He was not born evil.
Or he could have been, but he was sick. Like he had an illness that caused the evilness. So it wasn't like he's an evil man necessarily and there's nothing else to explain it. It's like he had this sickness that created evil inside him, which I thought was an interesting way of looking at it, because I feel like usually it is like nature versus nurture, but instead it's like he was evil, yes, but also he was very sick, and that's what caused the evil. So I thought that was interesting. So I watched this creepy interview where I think it's like the 70s or 80s. I think it's the 80s. Apparently he did several TV interviews, and these reporters would come and do these like in Mindhunter, where they would like do the one-on-one interviews. And I watched one, and boy oh boy was it fucked up. So it was very short. It was like a minute and a half. And I'm going to just read you kind of what went down. So the first thing you hear is Joseph say, "I'm patient with a good ear and try to help people." And the reporter makes him repeat it. He says, "I'm patient with a good ear and try to help people." And the reporter says, "When you're not trying to kill people." And he says, "Yes."
Oh, so matter of fact.
Yeah. Oh, so matter of fact. And then the reporter says, "You murdered your own son." "Yes, I did." "Why?" "He was a sacrifice. I was to murder 3 million people on planet Earth, and he was a sacrifice to see if I could murder one of my own. At the end of murdering all the people on Earth, I was going to murder my own family and then take my own life and become God." So, when asked what he thought of the death penalty, Joseph Kallinger said he was opposed to it. He said, "I don't think anyone has the right to take a life." And the reporter says, "Except you?" And Joseph says, "When I'm under hallucination, I do." So Joseph says he still experiences the voices often. He feels regular violent urges, and he often feels the urge to kill people. So the interviewer asks, "Do you think you'd murder me, Joe?" And without hesitation, Joe responds, "Yes." The reporter says, "That's gruesome, Joe. That's horrible." Joseph says, "Yes, it is." The reporter says, "And you don't blame me if I say I hope you never get out of this place." And Joseph says, "I hope I never do either."
Ugh.
And that is the story of Joseph Kallinger.
Yuck.
Like I said, he died at age 59 of heart failure, but
got it.
That is the story of Joseph Kallinger.
Jeez.
Is that not wild?
Yowza.
That really does get into the whole like being raised in the most abusive household possible, both like sexually violent, all of the above.
Yeah, all of it.
And then turning around and doing that to your own children. And not that means that happens.
I know.
It's just...
Psychology's a crazy thing.
Yes, it's so crazy. It's so crazy.
Since our episode was so long, we don't have to do a geoscope, but I still have my fortune cookie that I didn't eat.
Okay, I do have a geoscope written here, but...
Okay, then we'll do a twofer.
Okay, great. So, I know you have a defined personal style.
Do I?
But even if you don't, you know how easy it is to fall into a rut and wear the same thing every day. For example, I'm always wearing stripes and leggings.
And old Nickelodeon clothes.
All right, so you don't need to just keep attacking me. I thought you were going to give an example of yourself, but sure, it's mostly about me. The problem is when the temperature rises, suddenly you've got to change your whole fashion strategy, but you can make getting dressed for summer easy and fun with Stitch Fix.
Stitch Fix can style you for every season on your time, and let's face it, summer comes with its own style
That
challenges.
is so correct, especially when it's 100.
Especially when it's literally 120 degrees. Whether you need looks to get you through wedding season, hello, that's
Yes,
exactly where I
correct.
am. Or help to figure out how to survive the heat, hello is exactly where I
Always.
am. And still be office appropriate, Stitch Fix can help.
All you do is you tell Stitch Fix your sizes, some information about your lifestyle, and your preferred budget, and one of their stylists will send clothes, shoes, and accessories picked just for you, and you don't even have to leave the house, which is my favorite part.
Each Stitch Fix box contains 5 items you can try at home, and you only have to pay for the items you keep.
Making returns is easy. Stitch Fix covers shipping costs both ways for returns and exchanges too, and as always, there's no subscription required. You can get your fix, get it, monthly, quarterly, or whenever you prefer.
I truly, truly love Stitch Fix. So far, they've sent me 2 different boxes.
Oh my god, I want to yell about it.
Kept every single thing.
I can't.
They've nailed it. And then, I mean, the girl that dresses me, her name's Amanda, and I will say there was one thing I had to send back, but only because it was sized wonky. And then they sent me.
They did?
They sent me
wow,
the new
they changed it.
Yeah, so I did keep all 5. I just had to get a little exchange.
Well, I'm going to
done.
throw some people under the bus here. My mom recently tried Stitch Fix, and she has a hard time like finding the right clothes that she likes, and she's kind of like picky. And she got her box today and sent me photos, and I was like, "You look amazing." Apparently, Tim got like really emotional and was like, "You look so beautiful."
Aw.
And then today I went upstairs to record, and Em and I turned on the computer, and we see there's some little gremlin has been on Stitch Fix creating his own box, and that person I believe happens to be Blaze Lampignali. So everyone's getting on board.
So get
it's so
on the
fun.
Stitch Fix fam.
That's right.
You can get your first fix now at stitchfix.com/drink and get 25% off when you keep all 5 items in your box.
That's stitchfix.com/drink to get started with Stitch Fix today.
stitchfix.com/drink. Here's my fortune, guys.
I'm so ready for your fortune. I'm going to steal it too since we're both Geminis.
Okay. The fortune is: you may attend a party where strange customs prevail.
Bachelorette in Vegas, baby!
Oh, wow.
Zach Baggins!
I was thinking like a ritual, like a sacrifice.
Oh, I was thinking, I mean, yeah, that too, but also in Vegas at my bachelorette party.
Yeah, no, that one is probably more likely to happen sooner.
I mean, who knows? There might be rituals and sacrifices.
Who knows? It's going to get weird.
I'm down. I'm so down to clown.
All right, what's the geoscope?
All right, here we go. Here's a Scorpioscope/Scorp/Geoscope/ someone else has said,
Geoscorpioscope.
oh my god, it never ends. Yep, that. Flattery will get you anything you want in the job world.
True.
Don't be ashamed of showering your boss with compliments
True.
that you know he or she wants to hear.
Geo.
Be respectful, but don't be afraid to put a little extra sugar on top.
Yeah.
Here's one more. You may not need to get entrenched in the lives of the people around you today,
Aw.
but you'll really want to.
Yeah.
There's a strong urge to be involved building inside of you, and it's creating some amazing growth opportunities. This may be a courage issue for you right now. You may fear that no one wants you to get involved. Gio does not.
Gio.
Gio does not fear that one bit. But that's not the case. People are looking for you to put more of yourself into what you do.
Snuggle me more, G.
Add your signature to life.
Your signature snuggle.
Oh my god, that's insanity is what that is.
I like it.
That's the geoscope for today.
Well, thank you guys for listening while we're out in Vegas and I'm dragging Christine back to the hotel.
I cannot wait to show everyone. I'm eating this.
Okay.
I'm eating one of these.
Okay.
I cannot wait to show everyone the pictures of us at Zach Baggins. My fear, Marilyn kind of wrote out my fear when she said, do you think Christine's also blacklisted from his
Yeah, we'll find out.
locales? Because he definitely blocked me on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Yep. So let's see if I'm allowed in.
Fingers crossed. We're going to have a great time. Christine's eating broccoli. Until she's done.
I don't know how you ate it quietly.
I just ate really fast.
Oh,
while
you
you
ate
were
it before
talking.
yeah.
Okay, well, thank you guys for coming to our Facebook Live last Sunday.
Sorry we flooded. Sorry we just had a mess. It was a disaster.
If you weren't there, you really missed out.
You can watch it on our
Facebook page.
Facebook. No, you can watch it on our.
Yeah.
You also
sorry.
upset a bunch of people on Twitter.
Again?
Because you said, oh, come watch us on Facebook Live. And a bunch of people were like, I can't find it anywhere. But it was only for patrons.
Pay for Patreon. Whoops.
So
I was trying to promote us. I just did it poorly.
But then I had to go do damage control. But it's okay.
That's just a typical Tuesday at this point.
But so if you guys want to watch it, it's on our Patreon-only Facebook group. And if you're a patron, you can watch that. It was a disaster in quite an entertaining way, I guess.
Yeah.
The pool flooded. It was quite a moment for all of us. But anyway, go on.
Yes, we have not figured out the date yet for our next Facebook Live, but expect it in the month of August.
It's coming.
Until then, you can find us on our social media at ATWWD Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Patreon. Please help us donate. Well, don't help us donate. Please donate to us and help us at the same time. You can also find our website, and that's where we drink.com, our merch store, and that's where we drink.bigcartel.com. You can also find our email, and that's where we drink at gmail.com, where you can send in your personal true crime and paranormal stories, because we put out a new listeners episode at the first of every month. And you can also send us goodies. You can send us mail or packages or sweets. You can,
all of the above.
or all of them. And you can send them to 1920 Hillhurst Avenue, number 265, Los Angeles, California, 90027.
We just recorded our July one, so we're going to post that soon. And CK sent us an amazing gift, so go check that out on Patreon. We have a bunch. I'm not even kidding when I say
so many new shows.
Yeah, we have a lot of shows coming up, like to the point that I feel like every morning we get a new like memo of a new show planned for us, and not all of the venues have released those tickets yet, so we haven't been able to announce them, but they are coming.
They are coming.
And they're very exciting for a lot of you who keep saying, come here, come here, come here. So keep your eyes, keep one eye peeled and keep the other one ripening.
Full circle.
Yep.
And
that's
why
we
drink.
Love you guys.